Okay, hello and welcome to the how to put tons and tons of glitter on your helmet and make it not come off in an extremely messy application process that takes way too much time. Alright, first step, materials. I used this EnviroTex High Gloss Finishy stuff that I got from Michael's Arts and Crafts. It can run a bit pricey, 20-30 bucks ish, but you can sign up for their online email coupon-y thing and they put out 50% off coupons like nobody's business. Also important, the glitter. You want to have specifically micro glitter because you don't want your helmet to turn into sandpaper, because that would be bad. Though you can use a bit of the coarser glitter if you are going to do the two-step process, which I will talk about a little bit later. Also good to have pearlescent pigment, also adds to the excess sparkliness, and other things. Little plastic mix cups to mix both like your dry glitter mixture and the wet epoxy, as well as the little foam brushes for application, and wooden stir sticks for stirring and mixing and fun things, as well as tons and tons of latex gloves, because this stuff you don't want to get on anything because it will not come off. Also, wax paper and a super cheap baking sheet that you can get messy and won't cook on ever again. Dollar store, really good for those. Okay, there is multiple steps to this. Show you the final product. After step 1, you should have something of this equivalent sparkliness. This is just one coat of the epoxy glitter mixture, and this is step 1. If you're fine with this, totally go ahead and leave it there. It's kind of awesome. I like it. But I also went super glittery when I did my hockey helmet, and this is a 3-step procedure, and you get some crazy intense coverage because this used to be a black helmet, same as this other one, but you can see, yeah, tons of extra glitter. Okay, so step 1 is preparing the surface for your helmet. Alright, baking pan, wax paper, put it on there to cover the surface, to make it easy to get stuff off, you know, fun things like that. Surface, fun, yay. Next, you want something that you can put your helmet on top of so that it doesn't come in contact, the edges, with the actual pan. I use this roll of masking tape that I had in the house. I want to use it again, so I am going to cover it with a plastic bag and an invisible rubber band that I don't know where it is now. And then you place your helmet on top of it. That way you can rotate your helmet around to get adequate coverage on the edges. Okay, you have that set up. Now you want to thoroughly use sandpaper, sand block to roughen up the entire surface to get some good adhesion with the epoxy. And so once you have that all done, sanded really nice and rough, take water, Windex, clean it off, get all that dust off, because you don't want any of that residual dust to get in the middle of you and your glitter. Okay, so you have this epoxy stuff. Comes in 2 parts. Instructions show how to mix it. It's pretty much a 1-to-1 ratio. Key when you're mixing it is it's kind of a 2-step process. You pour them both into cup number 1. Stir, 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 stir for I think it's a minute straight. And you kind of do a slow, making sure to get around the edges of the cup because you want to make sure all of it gets mixed together. After you're done with step 1, then you pour it into the second cup, which is hard to see with the really bright light. But anyways, let me see. Oh, so much better. Okay. After you're done mixing it in stage 1 cup, you pour it into the second cup, and in the second cup, then you mix it some more. This way, it doesn't have all of the little non-mixed stuff that's in the crevices, and you get a more complete mixture. And so this step number 2 is what you'll be putting onto your helmet. Okay? So now you have the second mixture. It's all nice and thoroughly mixed, and you're good to go. Next, what you want is to do the glitter. And for the glitter, the main amount is going to be with the micro glitter, and then with pearlescent pigment as kind of like to help the glitter along, you know, to support the glitter. And you don't want to get this too thick with the glitter, because then it just won't apply well and it won't set up right. And I would say probably 5% glitter, not more than 10%. You just want it suspended in the epoxy. You don't want it to be a thick paste or anything, because this isn't turning into paint. It's just going to be a surface coat. And for this base application, I would recommend not using your thick glitter yet, because again, if you're just going to do one coat, you don't want to get it too thick, because you want to have it nice and smooth when you're done and not super rough, and it won't have enough coverage to totally encapsulate the larger glitter. Okay, so you mix the glitter. I use 3 different colors of teal to get a nice blend, as well as some turquoise pearlescent pigment to, you know, just add to it a bit. And stirred it up. Used the nice foam applicator to paint along, and I would suggest starting at the top and going down, because even at this stage it's still pretty viscous, but it will still run, and so you don't want to have too much on it, because it'll run down and then you'll get drips along the edge, and that's just no good. And so starting from the top down, we'll give the top time to kind of relax and do its thing. So by the time you're painting the bottom, you'll be able to get it just right, and it won't be running or dripping too much. Okay, stage 1. This is done. It's painted. It's all good. You're good to go. Then you put it aside, and then wait about an hour. Go back and then touch up the edges a little bit to make sure that no more drips have occurred. And then stage 1 helmet, if you want it at this stage, you're done, good to go. It needs to cure 24 hours in a reasonably well ventilated room, because epoxy is kind of smelly and off gases, as well as it sets better in a warm environment. So inside your house is better than in the garage. Okay. Say you want to take this a step further and up your glitter quotient and bring it up to this level of glitter. Okay, what you want to do is, after this, I think I waited about 2 to 4 hours to get this stage 1 sufficiently tacky to be able to apply dry glitter to the surface of the entire helmet. And so what I did for that phase is took a clean cup and then thoroughly mixed my dry glitter ratio together. And that was all the 3 micropigments. I also used a little bit of the pearlescent, and this is where I added in my thicker glitter. And totally you can use this as much as you want, just get a nice blend. It doesn't matter the ratio, whatever makes you happy. And this next part is the time-consuming one, because helmet sticky, make sure you have latex gloves on. But what I did, index finger, touch it into the dry, and then dab it onto the wet. And so it was just going there slowly, adding it on. I went over the entire helmet, and basically pressing the dry glitter into the still tacky epoxy to get it adhered on. And once I was done with that, let it sit overnight and cure until this is finally hardened. And then after you're done with this and it has the still intermediate just dry glitter pressed on it, you're not quite done yet, because you need to do this step again, where you mix the epoxy up, mix a bit of glitter in it. Again, with the epoxy mixture, don't put your thick glitter into that, because yeah, no good. Stick with the micro stuff whenever mixing with epoxy. And again, you have the dry glitter on, you have your epoxy mixed with your glitter, all good to go. Dab it on, do another coat, wait 24 hours, and you're done. Helmet's good to go. It'll be dry and yeah, really durable. Any areas that are kind of dripping and that, you can take like a nail file to get it down, but pretty much anything you have on it from there on, it's set and you're stuck. Other tips that I found while making this is have multiple stir sticks ready, because yeah, you need the wooden sticks for stirring the epoxy, stirring the glitter into the epoxy, making sure that the glitter stays suspended while you're doing it, mixing the dry glitter. So yeah, these are cheap, go for it. As well as the foam brushes, have extra ones, as yeah, again, messy. And also what I did is, for the surface I was working on, I completely covered the whole thing I was working on with the wax paper, taped it down to the sides so I knew it wouldn't move. And I had a little set area for any wet epoxy covered gloves, stir sticks, foam brushes in the middle of it, so that I can make sure to, once I was done using it, put it in the same spot, because absent-mindedly touching epoxy to things starts to spread the epoxy and it can get on things other than the intended helmet. But yeah, glitter fire helmet, stage 1, pretty ridiculous sparkly, kind of bowling ball-esque, and going to the whole 3-step, like whole 2-day process turns it pretty rad. Anyways, glitter fire helmet, tons of fun, messy, but totally worth it.